Hi everyone, a very good morning. I hope now I am audible. Thank you for those quick responses in the chat box. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen as well. All right, let's move ahead. So remember last day we had a discussion about the storage options in the EC2, right? So let's brief it once again, and then we'll have a demo of those things. Okay. So when I talk about EC2 storage, yeah, there are multiple options that we can actually use. Yeah? There's something what we call as instance connect or instance store. We call it as instance store. It's a small memory given to the EC2 instance so that it can store anything inside that. Probably this instance store is especially useful in temporary files, like which operating system needs to store, and it is volatile. Yeah, that means you will lose all the data from this instance store when you reboot the instance. Okay, reboot or terminate like this. Okay. But there are more persistent options that we have. That is EBS volume. We have EBS, that is Elastic Block Store. Okay. And we have one more option as a file system, that is EFS. So we'll talk about all these of them, and then we'll have a hands-on on them. So let me just talk about this EBS volume first. It's basically a kind of network drive attached with your there's a NAS, by the way, network attached storage with the instance, right? We can have multiple EBS volumes attached with single instance, or we can have a single volume shared by multiple instances as well. Yeah, that's a special case. I will tell you that. I mean, we have different type of storage here in EBS. We have to choose the particular one to do that. Okay, so you can just see this is important to understand. One thing that I would like to tell you that this EBS volume are always attached to one AZ. So it's available in one AZ only. They are specific to availability zones. Okay. This is something that you should know. I will tell you, how we can actually move from one AZ to another AZ. It's also possible using snapshots. Makes sense. So you can just think about EBS volume as nothing but a network USB stick that you get sometime whenever you need it. Yeah. So based on your needs, you can do anything. One thing that I would like to tell you here, we have volume, and first type of volume that we call it as root volume. So this is the one which we attach with the EC2 instances when we create it. That is root volume. Okay, and they delete on the termination. So when you have um, when you terminate your EC2 instance, the root volume will be deleted. Right? I'll show you that behavior. Makes sense. So this is the idea, right? Let's try and understand that. Let's have it, okay, on console, and then I'll talk about EFS. Okay, so let's talk about that. I did that. Notice I did that setting. Now you can try that. All right, so let's go to our AWS free tier. And let's try these things, right? I will tell you a couple of more things here. That is snapshots and other behavior. So let's try and understand. It's asking me for the MFA. It is not right now required. All right, great. I want to show you the root volume and an important behavior of it. Then we'll move ahead and try different things. So here we have two instances running. I mean, I don't know why I just made these instances. But anyways, we'll be using it. So let's go to this, and I'm into any of the instance, and it is always available with the instance. Go to the storage tab, and you can see the EBS volume attached with this. You can see it is 8 GB volume, which I created at the time of the creation. Okay, this is a root volume. Yeah. And you can see at the end, there's a very important behavior that is delete on termination. So this is special behavior with the root volumes. When we terminate the instances, these volumes will also be deleted. Yeah, but we can add additional volumes to this instance, right? It is very much possible. So what we do, just see this left side panel, and if you go and sorry, here it is, elastic block storage. Let's go to volume, and now we can create volumes and attach it with the EC2 instances. We have some volumes already, can you see? And I just want to show you this status. This is in use. That means it is somewhere attached with the instances. Can you see attached storage, attached resources? Yeah, and volume status is okay. It is not encrypted like this. I mean, these information sometimes very useful. You can also see the AZs they are stick to, right? Can you see the volumes they are stick to 1D? Here also it is 1D. Yeah, like this. Okay, let's create our own, EBS volume, and then we'll try to, attach it with the EC2 instance. Let's do it. And there are a couple of options that we can see here. Yeah, so when I create the volume, we have options here. Can you see general purpose SSD? Here, like two options, GP2 and GP3. These are like generations. And we have in IOPS, right? Provision IOPS here. That is IO1 and IO2. So let me just give you a difference here. Okay. So general purpose SSDs are good balance of everything like cost, performance, throughput, everything, input outputs. But when I talk about provision IOPS, no, that will give you a guarantee of performance. That's what it is. Yeah, but definitely there will be a cost involved with this. And if you have chosen this provisioned IOPS now, you can share your volumes with multiple EC2 instances as well. That is also possible. Okay, let's say you have a volume, you have something inside that, you want to share it with other EC2 instances, you can do it, but only with this IO1 and IO2. These are like generation. We have other options also, like cold hard disk. It's a cheaper option, low performance. Here we have throughput optimized HDD. Yeah, low performance, but up to the mark. I mean, it is not very low. You also have a magnetic. Yeah, you can check the documentation for different ideas, but that's the primary difference here. When you talk about general purpose, it can be used for any task. It can be enterprise applications, it can be anything. Like for, but if if you are using IO, that is a guarantee that you will have those performance using throughputs and everything. Right? Let's use GP3, that is general purpose volume, and you can just see in free tier, I can have minimum 1 GB and I can go maximum like this. It's too much, right? So let's go for 20 GB, good enough for us. And you can just see the IOPS, right? So it is the minimum IOPS that I can have in GP2. It can go up to 16,000 IOPS. That's too much. And so that is why I told you these generations are very good, right? And if you just see, yeah, um, if I choose GP2, so this is like fixed 3000 IOPS. Yeah, but I mean it is burstable to 3000 only. Can you see the message? But the second generation of general purpose give you maximum 16,000 IOPS. It's too much, right? Okay, and then you can just see the throughput. Yeah, it's MBs per second. All right, this is interesting idea, guys. As I told you that the EBS volumes are stick to one availability zone only. So you can see we have a choice to choose AZs available in the region. So I am into US East 1, that is the biggest region, and you can just see that there are 6 availability zones. You can try that, okay? But once you choose this availability zone, right, then only you should understand that the infrastructure should be there in that availability zone. Otherwise, you won't be able to attach. That is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let me just give you an idea how you can actually get it. So let's have a duplicate tab. And if you just pay attention to the instance that we are running in, any of the, right? And when you go to this network settings now, you will see the availability zone. Can you see? The availability zone of this instance is US East 1D. So if you just create any instance, any volume, right, in other, AZ, then that volume might not be available to attach with this instance. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So you should understand this. And I will show you a way you can actually move these things. Okay. It's very much possible. But primarily, we have to think like this. Okay. So I'm choosing US 1D because I want to attach a volume with that instance. Okay. And here you can just see, don't create volume from a snapshot. I don't want that right now. Okay. We can do it. I'll talk about snapshotting. We can encrypt this volume. Yeah. By default, it is not. You can encrypt it. You can choose a KMS key of your choice and encrypt it. Right. And that's it. Right. You can create that volume. Soon it will be available. And now you can see the 20 GB volume is available to me, right? And if you just see here, the volume status is available. That means we can attach it with any of the resource. That's what we can do. And you're going to see the any of the resources are not there, which we have attached with. So let's go to the instance and let's see how we can do that. Okay. So can you see here, I have chosen this volume to be attached. And can you see we have different actions? We can create snapshot, we can delete this volume, we can attach the volume. So we'll be choosing this option. We want to attach this volume with the instances that we have. Okay, let's go for it. And you can just see here, I will have those all instances available in the AZ. It's very, very important. You can see right now I'm running in US East 1D, and you can see instance A is running, instance B is running, and you can also see one more which is stopped instead. Yeah, so I'll go for A. One thing that you should understand, if you have your instance in any other AZ, then it will not be available in this list. Okay, so you can just see only the instances in the same AZ as the selected volume are displayed. You need to understand that. Okay, the device name is just a suffix that we have in Linux instances. So you can choose any, like let's say SBD is good for this. SDB, sorry. Yeah, and let's attach this volume. Okay, now just see the status of this volume. It is in use, and you can see the attached resource, right? Let's get back to the instance and let's see whether we really got that volume or not, right? Let's refresh. Yeah, it is instance A. When you go to this storage tab, you will see one more volume is attached to this. Can you see this, right? So it is interesting to understand this. Okay, now it is attached. It can be used by the instance anytime, right? This is the way it is used here. All right, you can add n number of volumes here, no problem. Makes sense based on your needs. But it is like we should have enough number of, I should say enough storage to manage a task. That is what I'm doing. Okay. Now, I'll be telling you a couple of more interesting things in this EBS because sometimes they are really very useful. Okay. And one thing that I want to show here, the volume that I have attached here, can you see the delete on termination attribute? It is saying no. That means this volume will not be deleted, when you are terminating the instance. Yeah, it will be available to you, right? You can attach it with any other instance. Very interesting thing, right? That will be available. It is a persistent storage. Make sense? This is how it works. Okay. I want to show you a couple of more things here. Let's see. So as you can see inside the volume, right, the encryption is not by default, right? So I mean, you can play with the encryption whenever you want. You want to encrypt that volume, you can do it or not. I mean, that's your choice, okay, based on the data that you're storing. Actually, you are not doing that. You are going to interact with these volumes via the operating system. Okay, that's what is this. A couple of more interesting ideas here. You can just see in action, we have option of snapshot. Yeah. So in AWS, we have an option of backups and snapshots. Okay. Snapshot is the primary idea here. What do you exactly mean by snapshot? Basically, it's a point in time replica of your volume. So it is for disaster recovery purposes, right? I mean, whenever you think like I may lose some data, so you can create this snapshot. It is manual snapshot. You have to see that it is not automatic. Okay, you have to do it whenever you want it. And here, this snapshot, is very very useful. There are two important practical use cases of this snapshot. First, uh, let's say you want to move your volume from one AZ to another AZ. You can use this. So what you can do, you can create a snapshot. Yeah, it will be there. And then you want to restore, right? And then restore it in any other AZ. Yeah, that is the first use case. Second use case, let's say if your volumes are not encrypted, okay, you want to encrypt it, okay, then also you can create a snapshot, and then while restoring, you can choose the option of encryption. These are like two practical use cases. One more thing that I want to tell you here: when you create a snapshot, yeah, you can only restore it inside a new volume. Okay, you cannot restore it in the same volume. It's not like this. Okay, makes sense. Let's play with this. Let's create a snapshot of this volume. Although we don't have anything here inside that, so let's create it. Okay, so can you see it is creating the snapshot from this particular volume, which is in this US East 1D AC, right? And you can have some detail if you want, like snap, or I will like demo snap like this. Okay, let's go. And you can see it is not encrypted. Can you see it is not encrypted? So it is saying you that the volume that you are working is actually not encrypted. We have not chosen this option. Okay, while restoring, we can do that. All right, let's create a snapshot. And you can see here when you scroll down, right, we have the option of snapshots. Can you see? Let's go to this snapshot. And can you see there's a snapshot of this 20 GB volume? Okay, there's a description demo snap, and you're going to see it is completed. I mean, there was no much data here, so that is why it's completed very soon, right? You can see this. Makes sense. Now, when you have a snapshot, it's just point in time replica. So whatever the state of the volume right now, it will be created as a snapshot, right? Now you can restore the snapshot. Let's say you got something wrong, right? You just lost your data, right, because of any reason. Then you can actually have it, and you can restore it. While restoring it, there are a couple of interesting options. Just see. Okay, so let's go to action, and you can see the option create volume from the snapshot. So I'm choosing a snapshot, and now to create a volume from this snapshot. Yeah, there's something that you should note, that snapshots can be restored into a new volume, right? We cannot choose the same volume. It's not possible, right? So let's create the volume from this. And now you can see similar options that we have, in the volume creation wizard, right? You can see here we have the type. So in what particular volume you want to restore it. So you have the choice, whatever you want to do, right? So, I mean, the snapshotting is always useful when you want to migrate. Okay. Now you can see rest of things are absolutely same. This is something I wanted to tell you. Now can you see I can restore it into any other AZ. I can move this volume from one AZ to another AZ using snapshot. I hope you are getting this right. So I can choose any of the volume. Let's say I want to restore it into US 1B. Yeah. So earlier it was in 1D. I want to do it in 1B. Okay. And then can you see this option? Encrypt this volume. This is an important use case, guys. I mean, they might ask you in the exam as well that how to encrypt the unencrypted um, volumes. So this is how you can do it. You just create a snapshot, you restore it. Yeah, it's your choice whether you want to do it in the same AZ or you want to have another AZ. But you can choose this option that will actually encrypt the unencrypted volumes. Yeah. So now, if we just try that, if you want to try that, let's have the default key here. Yeah. Default key is always available for the different services in KMS. Okay. So I'm choosing that only. I mean, you will see something like this, AWS/EBS. Okay. All right. So you can just see that and just see the message volume that are created from encrypted snapshots are automatically encrypted. But the volumes that are created by non-encrypted unencrypted snapshots, right? We have to choose this option specifically, right? And then we can create this volume. Yeah. So let's go to the volumes now. Yeah, and let's see whether we got that volume or not. So can you see I have one more 20 GB volume? Yeah. And if we just see the snapshot ID, earlier it was not snapshot, right? We restored this volume from a snapshot. Yeah, this is the one that I've created earlier. Okay. And just see the availability zone, right? So I just created the snapshot of this volume, right? And you can just see the AZ is 1D, but this snapshot I have restored in 1B. Okay, and it is available because I have not attached it with any of the instance. Now I can do that anytime. So I hope you understood the idea in snapshot. A snapshot can be sometimes really very useful. Yeah. If you have any questions, please let me know. Another is saying something. So if I just stop the instance and start it, read on termination false, we will not lose data, right? Yes, we will. I mean, if you want to play with that option, definitely. Why did AWS team design EBS tied with one AZ? So it's a storage, right? Storage is always available in the data center, and data centers are available in AZ, right? That's what is the reason. Nisha is saying, can you show volume inside the instance by that is your part, guys. You just try it because I don't want to get into those Linux command, otherwise it will be a little off the track. I want to show you that EFS how it is work, right? Makes sense. You can try that, right? I really appreciate if you try this. Viresh is saying, is snapshot free? Yes. Yeah. But we have to be within the free tier limits. Okay, Viresh? Makes sense. Also, is the snapshot? No, no. It is not like this. We can increase the size. At least it should be same as the snapshot size. Let's say if you have a volume of 20 GB, you have created a snapshot. So it will be 20 GB, right? So while restoring, it should be at least 20 GB like this. Okay. Like it's up to you. All right. And it's saying, can we decide ourselves if we want a volume to be persistent or not? We can do that, no problem. I mean, we just have to play with the option delete on termination. Yeah. I mean, data will be persistent, right? But at the time of termination, what do you want to do? That you can actually decide. Yeah. So David is asking, hello sir, if EBS store element, will you please explain how it is considered as PAS? It is not PAS. It is infrastructure as a service. Yeah, makes sense. No, 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 David. I think you're getting it wrong. It is infrastructure as a service when we work with the EC2. So I was saying, can snapshot act as a volume auto replication or it's just one-time copy? It is one-time copy. It is not automated. Yeah, we have couple of services where we can actually get something. See here, the idea behind snapshot is a replica, right? When you talk about replica, it is readily available to be used when you lose your primary storage. Yeah, that's what it is. Backup is something can be automated. This is point in time, right? But yes, with the help of Lambda, with the help of a couple of more tools, we can do that automation as well. Definitely, it's a advanced level use case, but primary idea about snapshots are manual. Okay, I mean we have to manually create those snapshots. Okay, can you have multiple snapshots, have separate point in time? Yes, yes, definitely. That's what the idea, right? Let's say I want to experiment with something, right, and I am not very sure that it is going to be successful or not. Then I can create that snapshot at any point of time. Will snapshots get updated in real time? No, 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 no. They will not. They are asynchronous copies, Nitesh. They are asynchronous copies. They are point in time. So at the point you have taken that snapshot, it will be updated only, right? It is not something like, uh, I mean, it will have a live update. It is not synchronous. It is asynchronous. Yeah. David is saying that how much time EBS volume be available after terminating. That's up to you, right? You can decide it. And uh, okay, when delete on termination is no. See, when you have delete on termination, no, that means it will be available all the time. It will not be deleted, even if you have terminated the instance. Okay, you can attach that. You can use that volume to be attached with any other volume. Sorry, instance, right? Snapshot is a kind of restore point. Yes, it is. That is why it is point in time. Yeah. Sham is saying that can we create snapshot covering multiple volumes and clone it into a new volume? No, no, I don't think so. I have not seen such use case. Yeah. Yes, Sunil. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks. So this volume is once we create it, when you're saying it's attached. So is there like going on a Linux image somewhere on an etc tab,
No, it is not
or I mean,
related to Linux. It is related to the instance.
instance, yeah, yeah. So in this
Mhm,
case, Linux FS
mhm.
tab. So is there like internally it's going to add the entry with FS tab, or how it gonna work?
See, that is going to be like a drive, right? You just have to mount it in Linux and then you can use it for whatever you want.
So do
Yeah.
we have to do separately, or
No, no, it will be available. It will be available when you attach it. Yeah. Probably you might have to elevate your rights and then you can access it. Okay.
so can we
The Linux
can we
part
check?
is a second part of this story. Okay. Once we are trying
No,
to
no.
have that infrastructure with, so every time it is not Linux, you can also attach a volume with a Windows instance, right, Sunil?
Yeah, so in
Mm.
that case, you have to attach it, right? Windows, like
Yes,
normally you
yes.
attach to the drive, right?
Mm, mm.
So that part is also important, right? Because
I know
once you
that.
create the
Sunil,
volume,
let me just tell you, I am not very much into Linux. Yeah. I mean, you have to take that part separately. I just want to understand, I just want to make you understand that here there's a storage volume available with the instance that you can use it with the instance, right? And no
but
matter what is the operating system, it can be Linux, it can be Windows.
yeah,
Doesn't
anything
matter.
but end purpose you have to understand, okay?
Yes,
Ajit,
that
because
you have to, no, I mean, don't make me
listen,
understand, please.
listen,
You.
listen, hear me out, hear me out. This
Yeah,
is for real business, okay? We are here not just passing the exam. This
correct,
knowledge will help us, to perform a job on the
correct.
like a duty on the job, right?
Mhm.
So if volume you are not showing the end purpose, then it's like more meaningful us, if you show us that.
Uh,
How
when
you're going to
see,
be, yeah.
that's the different part. First, we have to create that infrastructure, man. Yeah, makes sense.
No, I am disagree with you on this
Sunil, I don't want to
because
argue with you
nobody is
on
saying
this,
volume
right?
on volume. No, no, not argument. Volume
Mm.
is really required for the real purpose in life, right? If you create just volume and leave it, there is no purpose,
I've
right?
not yet finished with that.
Okay,
Yeah, makes sense. So definitely, it is not part of the story right now. Yeah, I want to tell you about the EFS as well, right? Probably then, the things will be complete. The next part is the
okay.
second story, guys, right? So,
Okay, no
And
worries.
if you have, issues, please, connect to the team. I think they will, give you some more idea about that. I mean, that's what I can tell
You have
you.
an issue with
You
it
know,
because I'm asking question.
I
I'm
am,
asking question.
yeah, I'm following what I have been instructed to do, right? That's
Okay.
okay. I mean, I welcome your question, no problem. But I cannot go really deeper into Linux. Yeah, that is what I'm
No, no,
trying
not
to say.
Linux. Any operating system, this volume need to be attached somewhere, right? We should
Yeah,
know where it is attached and how we are going to use it. And
correct.
second time when my image is coming back, we
Mm.
want to make sure this volume would be available there. So is there any mechanism or something?
No, no, you
Uh,
have to create a new volume and then attach to it. Snapshots cannot be attached directly to the instances. You have to
no,
restore
no,
it
no,
somewhere. Mhm,
not a snapshot. I'm talking about volume only.
mhm.
So
You said
once you
images,
create,
right? So that is why I just.
no, no, no. Once you create image AMI, I'm talking about AMI, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's OS image basically. So
Hmm.
your server basically virtual server. So
Hmm.
whenever we start the server, my volume should be available on that server, right?
Yes.
So
So once
you
you
have to
attach it, then it will be available. No problem.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure, so I'm just asking.
No,
Yeah.
no problem.
Thanks.
No problem. Janardhan, everyone can see everyone's chat. No problem. I've not made these settings for individual people. Just try that. Okay. All right. There is one more question from Saurav. I think he means once we terminate the instance, what happens to the volume? Do we need to reattach? Yes, of course. See, termination means you are deleting the instance, right? Then the volume will be available to you as a resource. You can attach it with any other instance. So it will not be deleted. That is what is the persistence, that we have in the volumes. Make sense? Great. Thank you for that response. All right, guys. So this is where the EBS work. Let me just now move to another option that we have is EFS, right? So let's try that. Yeah. So EFS. So what is this EFS and how it works? Let's try and understand. So when I talk about EFS, it is nothing but NFS, that is Network File System. So probably you might be knowing about the file system. It manages the file. It can actually have those files shared with another instances as well. Now there are a few very interesting things about this EFS, that is Elastic File System. Okay. Uh, One thing that you should understand that this is shared kind of environment, right? Is always used when you want to share something, yeah, among multiple instances, even they are in multiple AZs. Yes, so it is highly available, yeah, in multi-AZ environment. This is something that is very, very interesting about EFS. So what you can do, uh, you can have EFS and in EFS, you have multiple shared files. Yeah, you can see that. EFS is managing all those files, and that on the top of which you can have the instances, yeah, like this. Okay, and no matter what, it is in 1A, or let's say we have another instance. I'll show you this exact implementation. Okay, I will try to do it. And 1B, maybe there's another instance in another AZ. This is the property of EFS, right? We can actually have multiple instances and we can share this file system with all those. So this can be really very useful, right? This can be really very useful when you want to do some content sharing, right? Those kind of use cases, we can use this EFS. Yeah. All right. Few more technical details about that. It uses NFS 4.0, sorry, 1. Sorry, it's not 0, it is 1 protocol to do all these sharing and everything. Okay. One more very important point is only available with the Linux, not available with Windows AMIs. So it is only available with the Linux-based AMIs, not with the Windows. We have other options for that, right? We can also use the KMS to encrypt these kind of things. Okay, makes sense. This is what we can actually do, and this is highly scalable. So as you go, uh, the file system will expand, yeah, and you just have to pay per use. You don't need to do that capacity planning, right? Just like we did it in EBS, right? We decided to have 20 GB volume. Yeah, so it is not like in NFS. We don't have to decide the size of this EFS. Okay, so try and understand this. All right, definitely there are a couple of performance modes and EFS scaling. We'll talk about that in the time when we are creating it. Okay. Now, if I just want to give you some points here, what is the difference between EBS and EFS? So let's try and understand. Okay. So when I talk about EBS now, the volumes can be attached to only one instance at a time if you have chosen general purpose, right? But are logged at availability zones. This is the primary idea, but this is not the case with EFS. Yeah, EFS can be shared with multiple instances, even they are in multiple availability zones. Okay, this is the primary idea that you should understand. Okay, you can mount this EFS to hundreds of instances. Yeah, and just think about like a WordPress website which is sharing a lot of files. So you can use this EFS. As I've already told you, only Linux-based AMIs are supported here. Okay, so this is something that I want to tell you. Now let's go ahead and let's see, how we can do all these things. And we'll try to have a demo on EFS. Let's see how it can be shared. Okay. I hope you got it. There is a chat. Let me just see. Is EFS available across region too? No, no. It is, within your region, but it's available across AZs within a region. Okay, Paresh. All right. So I am into my console again, and let's create a file system, and then we'll try to work with it. Okay. Before that, I want to terminate a couple of instances. I will be creating it one more time, and then I will be attaching that EFS with that, right? So I'm going to terminate all these instances. I don't need this. Let's terminate. All right. So there's no running instance. Let's go to the file system. Okay, it is available right away. EFS. You see a managed file system here. So let's go for it. Yeah. So can you see I was having a file system. Let me just delete it. So I have to put this ID to delete this. I will create a new one, so that I can tell you all the options and everything. Let's go for it. It will take a few seconds. Yes, it is deleted now. Let's create a new file system here. Although, it is a quick way to create a file system if you want to work with all the default settings, right? So just name, right? Let's say that demo EFS. Okay. And you can see it is within the VPC. So VPC is always there, right? So VPC, you have to select appropriately. And then I can create this. I can hit this button and it will be created. But I want to show you all those options. I will click on this customize. Okay. So here is that wizard. Okay. Can you see here we have demo EFS. Few things are important, while working with the EFS, like security groups and everything, right? So we'll understand that when we progress. And you can see here the file system scope, right? You want regional scope or one zone. So let's say for any reason you don't want other AZ resources to access or share these file system. So you can stick to one zone. That will be a cheaper option. There will be less cost involved. But you can also see this regional. This is regional is preferred because let's say if any AZ goes down, then there's a problem. Okay, then one zone is stick to one AZ. So you can just try these the things that way, and you're going to see enable automatic backup. So backups are automatic. you can just create backups, but snapshots are always manual. Yeah, this is also interesting thing, life cycle management. Yeah, so basically what you can do, although I mean we will see all these classes in S3 in more details, but what happens like if my files are not accessed for some amount of time, some amount of days, then probably we can transition them into lower cost storage so that we can save some cost here. Okay, so you can try this, and you can just see this transition into infrequent access. Okay, so if it is 30 days since the last access, I can choose any number here, doesn't matter. It's just like default settings. Okay, I want to move those files to this lower cost infrequent access storage. Okay, this you will see in the S3 part even more in details, don't worry. Yeah, and then let's say if it is 90 days since last access to those files, then I can transition it to even cheaper option, that is the archival. Okay, this is something that you have to understand. Then you can just see very interesting settings. Like once I start accessing it, right? So it should be back to the standard. So when I want to get it into the standard class, yeah. So let's say I want to get it on the first access. That means when I start accessing it, that means it is in use, right? So I mean, just get it from the infrequent access or archival and put it into standard so that I can have the performance. I can have those IOPS. So this is interesting setting. You can try this. Encryption is very similar. You can enable encryption at rest. Yeah, you can also have customized encryption setting. You can choose your own keys from KMS, right? That's you can do. Performance settings. Here there are some interesting things. Just see. So when I talk about performance, it's about throughput. So can you see it's like enhance, it is like bursting. Okay. What do you mean by enhance and bursting? Eventually, when you talk about enhance, it provides more flexible and higher throughput levels for workloads with a range of performance requirements. So when you need performance on input output, then you can use enhance. Definitely it's be little costly because it's going to be high performance all the time. But this is bursting, and bursting is a good choice. Why? Because it will actually, I mean, the performance will actually increase, right? In the same way you are actually expanding your storage. So let's say you have started using your EFS, and now you are expanding your things, right? And as per the size of the EFS, the bursting, I mean, the performance will get increased. That is what it is. Uh, Having some basic performance requirement at the same time. Right? So bursting is a good option. Yeah. You can also have additional settings like general purpose, that is nothing but performance mode. You can also choose max IO. It's all about enhancing your performance of the EFS, since it is like is going to be concurrent access on these EFS, right? The EFS will be shared among multiple EC2 instances, even they are in multiple AZs. Okay, so these settings you can play with, right, based on your requirements. I will go with the bursting mode and general purpose recommendation. Yeah, but I hope you understood this max IO, right? It give you maximum input output. Okay, so you have to understand your use case, and then probably you can choose this. Let's click on next. I think, yeah. Throughput mode must be elastic. Yeah, so some settings are dependent. Okay, so let's go for the throughput mode. Yeah. Elastic, enhance, I can go with this. I just want to show you this option. That is why I'm looking for that. Okay, otherwise you can choose anything. General purpose, good. Let's go for this. All right, here is a very important step, right? Because you can see that your EFS lies within a VPC, right? So it will be mounted in different subnets. Yeah, you might not be knowing about the subnets. Some of you might be knowing about that. It is just nothing but a subpart of the entire network, right? We have subnets, right? So you can see in AZs we have different subnets, all right? And you can see there are all 6 AZs. Yeah. So best practices say that you should default. I mean, there's a default security group attached with all those AZ mount point, right? These are like mount targets where you want to mount those EFS. So of course, it's a region that I have chosen. That is why you see all those AZs. And let's say if I choose one zone, then you will see only one zone. Yeah. So you can remove as per your needs, right? I will expand it for high availability. But one thing that you should understand, we have to remove these security groups. Yeah. This is like default security group attached. So what I'm going to do is a kind of best practice. I will create a new security group and I will attach this security group with that. Probably I might be having that. Yeah. Then I'll show you. Don't worry. So I'm removing all those security groups. Okay. And I will come to this part again. This is a new tab. Go to security group, and I have it or not. I don't know. Oh yes, I have it. So can you see? I have one EFS SD. I just named it like this. You can name it anything. Yeah. I just created earlier. So let's use it. Okay. So I want to show you this. What it is? What is so special about this? Okay. Just see. So if you just see a security group, right, then you just have to have this NFS ready, right? And basically, you don't have to choose NFS. You just have to choose TCP. Let me just show you that. Cool. So once you are creating your security group for those EFS AZs, then one thing that you have to remember, that is nothing but this protocol. So I mean, instead of remembering this, you can just remember TCP. Just allow all TCP here. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create a new one so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. And otherwise, you may get confused here. Let's create a secure group. I am just naming it like EFS sec group. Makes sense. And let's go for within that VPC. Yeah. And let's add an inbound rule for all TCP. Although it is custom TCP, we'll go for all TCP, and I just want to allow everything. So like all the protocols, the NFS comes under this protocol, right? So all the things coming from this, I just want to allow. Okay. So we are good to go with this outbound rule. Let's create this. Okay, that's a small description. So I will call it like security group for EFS and go with this. Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, so we got this security group. Let's come back here. If it is not available here in this list, right, probably you have to refresh, but let's see if it is available or not. No, it is still not available. I think we have to start over. No problem. These are like small settings that we have done. The demo EFS, lifecycle rule is okay. Enhance elastic, that is okay. Let's go for it. Yes, so here I am. Let's remove all those default because we don't have much of the flexibility in these default security, right? That's what it is. And now we'll go for this EFS security group. Yes, can you see now it is available? So we'll attach similar type of rules with this security group for all the ACs. That is what is the important step, guys. We carefully have to choose the security group for all of the ACs because we are just trying to expand it in all the ACs, right? So let's go for it. Okay. Now let's click on next. All right. So this is a policy kind of setting. So we don't have those policies right now. It's just similar to IAM policies, right? And we don't want, I mean, to whom I just want to allow anything, right? So just advanced setting, just see this review and create. We are good to go. Yeah. And once I'm ready, you can see that mount targets and let's create. It will take few seconds, right? Although you can just see that we can see this EFS, but you can just see now it is available. But if you just go inside now, it will still be creating. See it in network. Can you see it is still creating? So we have to wait till it is uh, up and ready, and then we can do that. So let's do one thing. Meanwhile, it is like creating. Yeah, let's go to the instances. Let's create two of the instances, and then let's attach this EFS with them. And I will try to show it with different ACs. That is what is the whole idea. Okay, so let's go for the instances. And as I want to show you that how it can be shared, right? So that is what I'm going to do. Okay, these instances are still running. I've terminated them. Let's do it. So let's see that. Only running set? No, right? There's no instance. Okay, it's still showing. I think it is in. Yeah, now you can see that. Now let's launch an instance. And here we have to perform a couple of things. So what I'm going to do is I just want to show you sharing, right? So I will have multiple instances in multiple AZs. That is the good demo on that, right? So let's go for it. Uh, let's name it like instance A. Yeah, let's do it like this. Okay, you can name it anything. I'm good to go with this Linux AMI, which is EFS is available in Linux only. Yeah, and T2 micro is good. I don't want any key pair. I'm not doing any SSH here. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, you can just see within that VPC. So if you have chosen another VPC, that EFS might not be available. Yeah, uh, things are good. You can allow HTTP as well. So it will be a new security group uh, like created inside this, right? And it will be named as Launch Wizard 2. So what I can do is like while creating a new instance, I will choose this only so that they follow the similar rules, right? So just remember it is Launch Wizard 2, which I'm creating in this. Okay. And you can also allow HTTP, right? Let's open it. Okay. And yes, here it is. Can you see? It is about the volume that we create, right? Now it is about the file system. You can just see the setting here. We don't have any file system attached with this instance. Zero file system, right? So here we have to edit it and we have to select the appropriate one, right? FSX is for Windows. Okay. EFS is the primary target today. So let's see the status, whether it is available or not. Yes, now it is available. Can you see this? We can actually add this EFS to our instances, right? Let's go back to instance and you can see one thing that you need to understand while doing this, right? You can just see that you currently have no file system on this instance. Why? Because you have not specified the subnet. Yeah, this is very interesting, right? So you can choose the EFS only once you have selected the subnet. So if you just go back and can you see there's no preference given in this subnet. So doesn't matter, right? Let's go for it. Let's choose the subnet available inside the VPCs. Okay. So I will choose anything. It is not, I mean, it is already shared among all the uh, AZs in that region. So I will choose I mean, just to show you that I am choosing 1A here. Okay, can you see 1A here? And then if you just see, you can add, sorry, you can add a shared file system here. Okay, you can also alternatively create, another file system. One thing that you can understand here, you can add up to 5 file system maximum. That is, you have to understand, working with the EC2 instances. Let's add a shared file system, and then you can just see this is the demo EFS. Can you see the one that we have created earlier? This is my EFS, which I've created, demo EFS. Now I'm going to attach it with this instance. Okay, and this mount point is important, guys. I mean, this is a kind of default mount point. Yeah, let's copy it because I'm going to use it. All right. This mount point is nothing but a kind of directory, right? Which we have to follow. Okay. I mean, whatever we want to do, like whether we want to create a file, we want to access it, right? We'll do it inside this mount point only, right? This is something we have, right? We can change it although, no problem, but this is the default one. Okay, like MNT mount, EFS, and FS1, that is file system one. Okay, and you can just see automatically create and attach security groups. So that's what we want. Automatically mount shared file system by attaching required user data script. So if you have user data, then you can try this. Okay, so everything will be set here. Let's launch the instance. Sunil is asking why all AZ? Because we just want high availability, right? We don't want to depend on one AZ because I mean, let's say if one AZ goes down, then there's a problem, right? It is like spread across all the AZs to get more availability. Yeah. This takes a little time, so probably let me just check some of the question if I answer. Jonathan is saying, is EBS is available in AZ? If it gets corrupted for whatever the reason, what happens to EBS? EBS, yes, definitely it is stick to one AZ as I mean the first part of your question. Secondly, you can try out the snapshot kind of thing so that you can have the copies of those EBS into another. But yes, it is there in one AZ. Roshan is asking, to choose your own KMS, do you need to have KMS server? No, no, it's a service. It is not a server. Yeah. It is not on premises. It is a key management service, another managed service to manage your all encryption keys within AWS. Okay. It's not a server kind of thing. Madhu is asking, can we change the mount point of view? Yes, we can. We can do that. Probably there are some rules that we have to follow and then we can do that. David is asking the transition to archive won't happen even if one EC2 instance out of 50 accessed the EFS, right? What exactly is the question? I'm not getting that. The transition to archive won't happen. So it is about the file, the transition actions will only happen with the files. Okay, file will be moved. Make sense? Yeah. So let's say if it is like since 30 days, I just access those files, right? In that case, uh, you know, like it will be moved. It is on the file. I hope it makes sense. Right. It is taking a little longer than it is expected, but yes, we have to wait for it. So, all right, guys, let's do one thing. Let's take a break here because it's like half time here. Okay. And then I think probably after the break, this will be ready. Then I will show you the demo. Yeah, that will be a good idea. Okay, so let's take a break. All right, as we wanted, and then we'll move ahead and see this. Okay, let's go for it. All right, is it okay, guys? Because I think till then it will be up and running. Great. Let's go for a break. Yes, Shiva. Let's see whether we can cover that or not, because load balancing is yet to be covered. Yeah. So let's see at the end of the session. I can help you. Right. Yes, I'm here. Don't worry. Right. I have not started yet, so no problem. I'm just waiting for that timer. Now I hope you can listen to me. Don't worry. Yeah, probably there's something went wrong with the EFS. Right. Probably we have chosen that all TCP, right? So that is why it is not mounting. It was taking very much time. So what I'll do is I'll play with the security group of this NFS, and then we'll start over. Let's try that one more time. There's it is having it is taking time to load that. So that is why I'm just coming back to check what is the problem. Yeah, I think this is the problem. Let's go for only TCP, because all TCP will be too much. We don't need that. So we can go for only TCP, or we can go for an FS as well. And let's go for custom TCP will be good, right? No problem. Because then it will have some scope. So let's save this rule. Yeah, CIDR is going to be everything. And let's try it one more time. Instance A is running. You can see that. Let's see whether uh, the EFS is mounted or not, right? So for storage, it's not actually mounted. So let's go for it one more time. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened because of which it couldn't be done. Let's delete this. I think because of all TCP, it took a little longer. So we'll do it once again. I'll do it quickly because now you know all these settings. I am good to go with. I will choose the subnet. Okay, I will choose 1A is good, right? 1A is good. Yeah, so we will have a security group here. Now it is like launch wizard 3. Yes, let's go for launch wizard 3. SSH from anywhere is good. If you want to add HTTP, just add it. We will use them, as we progress. Right now, the things which are important, I'm trying to explain. Okay. Otherwise, it will be all scattered. We will not be able to do anything. When we progress, we will see all those settings. So this is the mount point, always there as a default mount point. We've already copied it. Let's launch. Okay, the cider block need to be added anywhere. I've not selected the right EFS, but there was only one EFS. Here it is stucking. Let's see what's the problem. Let's wait for it. Otherwise, we'll do something. Because what happens, like security group rules in EFS, got added with the security group rules with the instance. Okay, so probably that is mismatching. Let's figure it out. No problem. because if I just refresh now, we have to start it over. I don't want to do it. So let's wait for 1 minute. There might be some issue. No, it will add automatically. Yeah, Jivan, it will add automatically. That is what it is doing, and there you, I mean, we are feeling some conflicts there. No problem. There might be some conflicting rules. No, I don't think so. There are some conflicts in the security group rule. That is what I can see here. So I think there is some issue with the security group rule of this. That's what I can sense here. For one more time, that happens. When you're doing it live, then it may happen, right? Some issue here. Let me just try and verify this. I will stop it here because this will not launch it. Yeah, let's go for it. I'm having some notes as well. I'm just trying to refer. I mean, what exactly we are doing wrong? There's certainly a problem with the rule. Give me a second, guys, please. Let's do it properly. Give me a second, okay? I'm referring to my notes. I think probably then we can find out. Okay, I got the problem. We actually don't have to have this inbound rules. We're restricted. I mean, let this EFS try to do it. Okay, I got the problem that we had. No problem. Let's delete this rule. Okay, I don't want this rule. Let's save it. I just want a blank security group here. Everything will be added by the EFS. Yes, I got it. What mistake I made? Mhm. There are a lot of steps. It is difficult to remember all the things. Anyways, let's go for this. I'm sorry, I'm taking a little time on this, but it happens. It's also a good idea. I mean, you can also stuck somewhere like this. You can also have a troubleshooting uh, idea here. So I will prefer very quickly 1A, and this is good. I don't. Let's allow HTTP also because sometimes we need it. I take a side block from here. Yeah, let's add this. Let's add a file system. There's only one file system, so I don't think it's a mistake. Let's go and launch. Because of the rule that we have given in that security group of EFS, no? It was not possible for that security group to add those roles. I think that's the only problem that we did. Otherwise, it was all okay. Still, it's in here. You can just see that. Adding EFS security group to mount targets. Let's see that, guys. Otherwise, I have to see this. Yes, we can check the logs and everything, but right now let's check the primary level of mistakes that we might do, right? Stucking. And that's the idea. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, I did the same thing, but yes. I mean, Sunil, if it is not working, then definitely don't worry. Yeah, I will come up with a new example and I will explain you. Don't worry. I know it is important. Yeah, but there is some issue with the security group rule, which probably right now we cannot figure out. We'll come up with the solution. Don't worry about this. Yeah, it is always a part of story, troubleshooting. Yeah, still it is not doing that. Yeah, that is why I'm telling you. Don't worry. Probably we need some time to do so. I will resolve this issue, guys. Okay, and I will come up with the solution. Don't worry. Okay, not right now, but I hope you got the idea about the EFS. You know what it is used for, and we'll definitely configure it. There is some issue with the security group that we are facing. No problem with that. Yeah, security group and then add NFS. Hmm, not required because we can actually allow the security, sorry, EFS to add those rules. Okay, so let's go for it. NFS protocol might be working here. Let's see that. Let's also try that because right now we are stuck here, right? Let's not waste our time. Let's try NFS only, then we'll move ahead. Otherwise, we'll see to it later. No problem. Okay, from anywhere. Set this rule. Go for refresh. I'm just trying it one more time. Otherwise, we'll move ahead. We'll try and understand it later. No problem. I don't want to make you stuck here in this idea. We'll definitely coming up with a solution and we'll do it. No problem. This is the one that I wanted to. Let's launch it. Let's try this NFS because I've been doing this way only. Let's see how it is not working. In that case, we have to check the documentation. What is wrong with this? Probably something wrong, right? That's it. No problem. Okay, we will do it. We just tried the NFS protocol to be allowed, Jeevan. Yeah, but still it is not working. Yeah. No, it is not a limit, Murli. Yeah. So just hold on with this, right? I will come up with the solution. Don't worry. Yeah, definitely you can also stuck situation like this. Yeah. So it might help to try different solutions. But let's stop it here. I mean, we don't want to waste this. So let's go to the another interesting aspect, that is load balancing. I'm not yet finished with this EFS. Okay, don't worry. I've just given you conceptual idea. I will give you the demo of this later. Yeah, don't worry. Great. Let's stop it because it's not working. Okay, we'll figure it out what to do here. Okay, I think probably we have to check the documentation for the new settings and everything. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I want to give you the idea about the load balancing here. Yeah. So let's try and understand on the aspect, because when we try out different instances, right? Let's say we have different instances running like EC2, and on the top of these things, right? We are moving to the next topic, guys. Okay. We don't want to waste our time today. We'll do it uh, some other day. No, don't worry. Yeah. So let's say we have some EC2 instances, and on the top of which we are running our application. Okay, makes sense. We have these instances on the top of which we are running this application. All right. Now, I mean, what is happening? There's a user who is trying to get those applications. We're trying to use those applications like this. But definitely, there might be a lot of different users, and they might be, requesting a lot of different things from the application. So here, there is a concept which is called as ELB, Elastic Load Balancer, which receives all the requests from the different user, and it try to distribute the traffic coming from the users evenly to all the EC2 instances that we have. Makes sense. So this balance is required. That is why it is called as elastic load balancer. Okay. So whatever the load coming from the users is going to be forwarded to the instances which we have in our fleet. Okay. One thing that I would like to tell you here, there are multiple type of ELBs. Yeah, we think about the ALB. Yeah, I'll tell you what is the difference here. ALB, we talk about NLB here. Yeah, and another one is gateway load balancer. Okay, it is gateway. I'll show you all these things. ALB is application load balancer. Basically, they are doing that job on the basis of different layers. Okay, like when I talk about ALB, it works on layer 7, application layer. Okay, then NLB, network layer. Gateway load balancer is a very different approach, right? I'll talk about it. And these things are really helpful when you are actually distributing your traffic to different things. One more thing that I would like to add here, that is health checks. Very interesting idea, health checks. Okay, so when I talk about health checks, no, the ELB perform the checks on EC2, right? Whether they are capable enough to handle the traffic or not. I mean, can I forward this traffic coming from the users to the instances? Yes, that is what we done. That's what it is doing using health checks. It is like periodic health checks that is performed by the ELB, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Okay. So we'll be using ALB. We'll see, what we can do with this. We'll perform the NLP. Gateway load balancer is some kind of very high performance gateway, right? So I don't think the demo we can do, right? But yes, we'll perform NLP and ALP kind of approaches, right? I hope you're getting that. It's a very interesting concept, right? So let's try implementing these things, okay? I'll also give you all these details about ALP and NLP is already there, okay? So let me just show you that. Okay, so let's go to, now you can just see I am into EC2 only. And when you scroll down, yeah, you can just see the load balancing. Load balancing is an important aspect. If you just configure it properly, then you will have great performance. Yeah, yeah, Janardhan. There is also a classic load balancer, but it is deteriorated by AWS itself, right? So now we go for that. Yeah, if you just see when I go to load balancer, that is why I just don't mention that. But yes, I know that it is there. Why? So you can see I am into load balancer, and when I start creating a load balancer, yeah, can you see the load balancer, it is previous, the classic load balancer, it is previous generation. Yeah, it's very limited. It's an older version, right? It's better we can go for the ALB, application load balancer, network load balancer, and gateway load balancer, right? So like AWS only demotivate to use this classic load balancer. Instead of that, we can go for application. That's why I've just not mentioned, right? I mean, every day it happens. All right. Let's try to understand what is the difference here. Okay. Then probably you can choose the proper load balancer. Okay. Let's go for it. So when I talk about application load balancer, it's a general purpose. It actually deals with HTTP and HTTPS request. So it just received the request like HTTP and HTTPS from the user, and it sends to the different endpoints. Like in our case, it's going to be EC2. Okay, just see the description. I think you will understand the whole concept. Choose an application load balancer. You need a flexible feature set for your application. Yeah, with HTTP and HTTPS traffic. We're going to see this is operating at the request level, right? That is your application layer. Okay, makes sense. Just a second, guys. Second, I have a message from a team. Yes, that's okay. I can later do that. Yes, as I told you, this application, application load balancer is going to work on the application layer, that is layer 7. Okay, this is, I mean, this is reference to the OSI model. Yeah, okay, this is what we are trying to do. It supports HTTP and HTTPS kind of traffic that we can use. Okay. And you're going to see application load balancer provide advanced routing and visibility features targeted at application architectures, including microservices and the containers. So we can use the ALB for microservices and containers as well. Okay. All right. So if we just talk about the second idea, that is network load balancer, it is something a little high level. Okay, which deals with TCP, UDP, and TLS kind of traffic. So there are users which are sending some protocol requests like TCP, UDP, and TLS. So this is uh, little high level uh, performing application load balancer. You can just consider it's the extended form of application load balancer that we have it in network load balancer. So it will provide you ultra high performance. Can you see the ultra high performance? Segregating those traffic into different ideas. So you can see it supports the deployment of UDP, like static IP address, okay, and your applications for your application. Sorry, yeah, very very important. Operates at the connection level. It is not at the request level. Is something that you should understand. Okay, network load balancer are capable of handling millions of requests per second. That probably you will be missing in this application load balancer because it's about the request. So it only work on the request level, but it works on the these kind of approaches. Okay, like TCP, UDP, you can handle millions of requests per second, ultra high performing, right? And let me just tell you here, when I talk about the gateway load balancer, it is even more than that. You can just see, you can choose the gateway load balancer when you need to deploy and manage a fleet of third-party virtual appliances. So it's a kind of packet inspection. Let me just give you an idea. Here, when you go with the gateway load balancer, you just want to inspect each and every packet that is being passed through the users to the infrastructure, right? So whenever we have something like that, packet inspection, yeah, and intrusion detection kind of applications, then we use gateway load balancer. Yeah, it's having very very categorized use case. So you can see it supports Geneve. There's a key point here to remember for the exam, guys. Okay, supports Geneve. So Geneve is a kind of protocol that we have. I mean, if you want, you can explore it, which is used for all those things like application, the intrusion detection, packet inspection kind of approaches. Okay, so just see that. Let's say if any of the question requires a Geneve kind of approach, then you just choose the gateway load balancer. Just an example. So we'll be working with this application load balancer and gateway load balancer. Let's try this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to create ALB here. Just see that. Let's get started with the ALB first, and then let's configure it properly. All right. And then you can see I am having the simple name of uh, the ALB. So I will name it as demo ALB. Okay. Very important. Yeah, these ALBs, or I should say the load balancer, the all categories are single point of contact for the users, right? So now they're not connecting to the instance, they're connecting to the instance, right? That I have already shown you here. Yeah. So ELBs are also acting as a single point of contact, right? Single point of access for the users. They're not directly connecting to the EC2 for their responses. They're connecting to this ELB. Okay. That is why the scheme is in internet facing or internal. So internal will not work like for in our case that we're trying to implement. So internet facing is good. You're going to see load balancing IP address type. So here we have the option, right? Whether you're going to go for IPv4 or you want IPv6 as well. So you can go for dual stack as well. Okay. So dual stack will actually allow to use IP addressing of version 6 as well. Right now we are good to go with this IPv4, and you're going to see network mapping. So it is in this VPC. Now this is an important step when you do mapping here. It's always a good idea to map the ALB with all the availability zones. Why it is required? Because there might be infrastructure running inside these availability zones, right? So it's always a good idea to expand it, right? You can see I'm choosing multiple availability zones. So any of the system, which is running multi-AZ environment, I can have the resources somewhere. Like if you want to simply understand that, we can have multiple EC2 instances running in multiple AZs. So I will be able to balance the load with them, right? So that is what is the whole idea. That's why I'm expanding my scope to every AZ. Okay. And you can just see here, I have a default security group. I'm good to go with this. Let's go with this default security group. Okay. In this ALP. And HTTP is required. Just see the listener part, right? This is most important setting here. Okay. Because it has got target group as well. Okay. So if you just see here, we have HTTP, and if you just scroll here, can you see we have only two options? As I told you, that application load balancer can only work at the request level, and at the request level, we have two options only: HTTP and HTTPS. Makes sense. So these are like two options that we have to choose from. So let's go for HTTP. Now you can just see here we have to create a target group. What is this target group, by the way, right? This target group is nothing but those EC2 instances, yeah, to which I want to forward this traffic to. Can you see this? This is your target group. So I have, let's say, 3 EC2 instances to which I want to forward that traffic coming from the users, right? So that is nothing but my target group. Yeah, is what I'm using as a target group. Okay, so we have to create a target group here. Okay, and definitely we are going to have multiple EC2 instances here. So let's create some instances, and then we'll create a target group. Okay, so let's go to EC2. And then I'm moving towards the instance. Okay, right now I'm running with 3 of the instances. Probably because of that. Let me just remove them. Let's get started, because I'm going to add a user data here so that we can see some responses. Okay, so I don't need these things. Let's launch an instance. Okay, and here let's say that it is like server 1. Let's call it like this. Okay, server 1, and we are good to go with these all settings. Yeah. Just want to see how application load balancer is doing all those things. We're good to go with the security. The only thing that I might need is HTTP traffic. So I want to allow from internet, because that is going to be important. Yeah. And these are things are good. And now what we can do, we can launch 2 of the instances, right? Let's launch 2 instances as the fleet of instances, and we will forward those traffic from this, right? So let's launch this instances. Yeah, and probably what we can do, we can go to instance and let's select the running instances only. Yeah, we have two instances. We can rename it as well. Let's for an example, let's have a two. Okay, let's rename. So there are two instances we're running. Okay, I think we have not added the user data. That's the problem. So let's go to instance settings. Yeah, let's add the user data. Let's go for settings. Let's edit the user data. And I think we have to then report. Okay, let's do it. Let's go for all running instances. Let's stop it for a while and then I will restart it. Why? Just want to add that user data so that you can see some response. Otherwise, it's all Linux machines running. I will go to settings and I can edit this user data. Yeah. Probably I have to wait for that. I need to stop this instance. Can you see this message? It's fresh. Still, it is not allowing me to do that. Let's see the state. We have not got this stopped. It's still in process. Yes, now we got it. Can you see this? Now let's go for this. Probably now it will allow me to edit that user data. Let's edit the user data here. Yeah, so can you see? I just want to modify this user data. Probably I will have that user data like this. Just the one that I have already shared with you, right? I'm just trying to get some responses. That's why I'm putting this. Let's put this user data and let's save it. This is for the first one. Yeah, and let's go for the second server. I'm just going to quickly do it. Always a good idea to use user data, right? Otherwise, I have to run all those commands, getting into that EC2 instance and everything, right? And now I can, start those instances once again. So let's go for it. So meanwhile, it is running. Just want to tell you that, guys, ALB is a fully managed service, right? So it will perform those load balancing automatically. So don't worry about that. All right. So my servers are running. Let me just verify that I'm getting the proper response. Let's copy this public URL. Sorry, public IP, not the URL. Yeah, let's copy it. And let's check, whether we're getting the response or not. Probably we have to go for HTTP because we have allowed HTTP only. Okay, it is doing HTTP only. Let's also allow HTTPS, doesn't matter, right? It's allowing HTTPS only, right? So let's go for that. So probably I will go to this security, the security group, launch wizard 7, inbound rules. Okay, we allowed that. So let's check the rules. Yeah, there's no problem. Then what's the issue? It's not our day. Unable to connect. Let's confirm the IP address there. Probably it's not our day today. I mean, it's not my day, probably. It should respond now. I'm copying the same address. It's unable to connect. Port ports are yeah, it might be still initializing, right? Because that might be a problem. You have to wait for some time. See, ports are all. I mean, they are selected by default, so you don't have to select the ports there. Sometimes it takes some time to, up and running. Might be initializing. Every day I do it, but sometimes it doesn't work. Right? Can you see this? Let's go for the second instance also. Let's try that. It's not responding probably. It's not responding. Let's also go for HTTP. Probably it will help. No, not allowed. So inbound rules are okay, but still it is not responding. Hmm. Probably the user data is creating some issue because we have added it. Uh, we added it. So let's do it one more time so we can help. I don't know, guys. It is not my day today, right? Let's go for running instance. Let's terminate them because we want these instances to respond properly. Otherwise, the load balancer will not be doing anything. Okay. It's shutting down. Let's go for. So let's try server 1 or server A, whatever it is. I will do it quickly without keep air. I will allow HTTP traffic. Let's go for HTTP only. Yes, advanced settings. We have to go for the user data. Sorry, it is not right. I have those user scripts already. Go and paste it. And now I'm going to launch 2 of the instances right from this configuration. Let's try that. Even I don't have VPCs, right? So it should be doing. It is in initializing state, right? So let's wait for this. We have recordings, guys, so you can follow the recording. It's not necessary that you do all these things parallelly. Okay. No problem. If you want user data, yes, Siva is doing that, so you can check it. Let's go for this. Still initializing. Yeah, Sunil, I completely agree with you, right? But I mean, we have to explore it afterwards, right? Not necessarily do it parallelly. You can do it later as well. You just can explore the options and you can try with this. Still initializing. I don't know why today uh, AWS is slow on me, right? Let's also rename it. I'll rename it like B. Still in initializing state. Can you see? I think I'm too fast for AWS. If it is working for you, same way that I don't know. Is there any issue with my account? Jyoti is saying it is working for her. Probably is there any problem with my account? I've been doing this. You can just see it is taking a little longer to do anything, right? Like I've been doing these steps for a long time, but still I'm not getting the proper responses. Probably it's an issue with my. Oh, now I can see that it is status is changing. Can you see? Two checks. So it's little. I mean, it is taking a little longer, but it's running. No problem. Yeah. So let's try this whether it is providing the desired output or not. Yes, it is. Can you see that? I got the desired output. So probably that was the problem. And right? Initializing takes a little longer. And you can see I'm getting some response from this. And let's check also the two, the server B. Sorry. Yeah. So you can just see it is still in initializing state. So what I can do as we are running this server, we can do that creation of the target. So let's come back to our process, right? Here we were, right? We were in application load balancer. Then you can just see the listeners. I have selected HTTP. And then here is the important step. We have to create a target group. That is nothing but the fleet of those EC2 instances. Let's go for it. Although we can have more than that, it's not always instances. So let's say we have separate servers, then we can use IP addresses, Lambda functions, right? Other application load balancer as well. Right now we'll go with the instances. I want my instances inside this fleet, yeah, under the need of this ALP. So I will choose instances. Then protocol is okay, HTTP. I just want to go with this IPv4. I don't want to use IPv6. And you can just see, as I click next, I will have to, okay, I have to name this. So ALB target group is the name here. Okay. Let's go for this next. Okay, probably this will not allow. Let's name it like TG hyphen ALB. That's simple. Let's click on next. And here is the very, very important step. You have to add those instances which are available in this target group, right? So this is something which is very, very important. So you can just see I am running with server A and server B, right? I have already given an idea here, right? So let's use these only, and I'm going to select both of it. I can select n number here, doesn't matter. I'm having two instances running. I'm choosing this, right? Port is already, and you just have to include it as pending below. Pending below means they are ready to receive the target, right? So let's include them as pending below. Okay. Include them as pending below. Already included. Okay, I just did it multiple times. No problem. So here is our target to which the traffic will be routed. So let's create this target group. Target group is created, and you can just see health checks, right? Right now it is unused, right? Health checks is initializing. It will be shown here. Yeah, it will do that health checks as I've already told you. It will check the status of the targets. Okay. Now this target group is ready. We can go to this ALB settings. We can choose if we should refresh it here. And then can you see we got TG ALB, right? So let's go for this TG ALB. And I think we are good to go with these. These are like some advanced settings. And let's create this load balancer. Successfully created load balancer, right? It is still in provisioning state. You can see this. Siva, we will be discussing your issue tomorrow, or the next day, because yeah. Was there any issue with the? No, no, not at all. I don't know why. Mhm. Maybe, yeah, because I'm having some consecutive batches, so this is what it is. Right? The WAF is actually web application firewall that we can do. I mean, that's really advanced level aspect. That's what I'm not doing. Right? Yeah, can you see it is in provisioning state? Let's refresh this. And once it is ready, then only we can use it. Uh, Meanwhile, it is provisioning. I want to tell you about this DNS. This is very, very interesting, right? So just see the DNS name here. This DNS name is probably the most important thing here. Like it is going to be the single endpoint, right? Can you see here? The users are not connecting with the EC2 instance. They are connecting with the ELP. So they need that DNS. So I'll be using this DNS, okay, to do that. So let's refresh. Still in provisioning state. We have to wait. Yes, we can do that, Roshan, right? We can add, and that's the very interesting uh, infrastructure action that we attach WAF in front of ALP. That is web application firewall. We have to wait for till it is provisioning. Still in provisioning state. It is. I don't know. AWS is like not giving me resources. Yeah. Okay. Let's try with the DNS. I just want to give you an idea. So instead of this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste this here. That is my ALB DNS, and then I will get some responses. That is in provisioning state, so that is why I need to wait for that, guys. Yeah, can see still in provisioning state. It takes time. That is why I do not open chat to everyone, right? That's what is the reason. I mean, here in Eduric, I don't follow those uh, things. Anyways, no problem. Yeah, it is active. Can you see that? It's active now. So now let's see what I'm trying to do here. Instead of this IP, I will choose this. It will be up and running. It's also can have. You can also try this. I'm just putting it in the chat box. Just try it. Probably there's some issue with uh, this, right? So that's why it is taking very long to execute. And once it is up and ready, then only you can try that. You might not be available with that, right? So let's do one thing, guys. Let's wind up the session today, right? Because I'm running out of time. I don't want to extend this session too much. Definitely, we are left with the concepts of EFS, we'll be doing it. Don't worry. Yeah. Then we'll be performing that load balancing as well with ALB, with NLB. And let's take it for the next day, guys, because I need to drop off. Yeah. Okay. We'll be fine, guys. Or you can try these steps, right? And probably once you have some time, then you will get that. Yeah. I mean, we have to. So just see that health checks might not be ready. Yeah, you can just see this. Let's go for the targets. Yeah, we have to go to this target group. Health checks might be a problem because it takes time to check health. Can you see? Right, zero unhealthy to healthy, right? So we'll soon update those settings and then it will do that. It takes little time to do that, right? I hope you got it. Don't worry, right? We'll do it next day, right? We'll complete it. Today it was not our day. Everything was giving us issues. No problem, right? Let's call off the day. How long will you have this ALB running? That's up to you, right? You can run it every day, no problem, right? It's up to you. All right. There's no as such limit. No, that's not a problem here because ALB is pointing to that DNS. Nitesh, it is not HTTP problem. Yeah, it is just the time that we need. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for that, guys. I will have to drop off. Yeah. Today it was not our day, but don't worry. We'll understand the concepts in a better way the next day. Don't worry. Okay. It happens. Some days not ours. Right. Thank you so much, guys. I'm dropping it. Thank you, everyone.